Hello students, welcome to my class. So students, after doing the basics of organic chemistry and most interesting nomenclature, let us now study about hydrocarbons as in alkanes, alkanes, alkynes, alcohols and carboxylic acid. And I'm sure by now you all have practiced enough of nomenclature. And here I will explain the properties of hydrocarbons, their structure, IUPAC names, preparation, and some of the uses, of course. Dear students, I will stick to the syllabus and make sure that you understand it completely. So children, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Watch my video. Go through the textbook. Solve the exercises. Please do not forget to try out the 10 years question paper. And I am sure children there will be no problem understanding organic chemistry. So let us begin. Here we start with hydrocarbons, and that is alkanes. These alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. The formula we had already done, CnH2n plus 2, and they are known as paraffins because of the little affinity and less reactivity. I have shown here only two of them, as in their name, molecular formula, structural formula, condensed formula. But there was a table kind which I had explained in my first video. So if you go through that, even that you can understand. The first one, the first member of alkane is methane. Molecular formula CH4. This is a structure, single covalent bonds, condensed form. For ethane, molecular formula C2H6 according to the formula CnH2n plus 2. Structural formula carbon-carbon single bond, all single covalent with hydrogen. And this is the condensed formula. So here I have shown it in this form by giving the heading, because in your question paper they can ask you as in what is the molecular formula of the fourth member of alkane. So we know it is methane, ethane, propane, butane. So what is your fourth member? It is butane. Put into the formula of CnH2n plus 2, write the molecular formula. Now it depends on the question whether they are asking the molecular formula, condensed formula or the structural formula. If they have asked the structural formula, you cannot give the molecular formula. If they have asked the molecular formula, you cannot give the condensed formula also. So please check the question what they are asking, the name or the structural formula or what it is. Okay, so the next important topic is isomers, which I had not done very many examples in the first video, but here I will be doing it. So for alkanes, there are two isomers for butane. One is N-butane, another is isobutane. For N-butane, the longest chain will have 4 carbon atoms, singly bonded, single covalent bond with all the hydrogen atoms, and the IUPAC name is butane. But if you pick one methyl group and exchange with the place of a hydrogen as done here, the name becomes isobutane and the IUPAC name is 2-methyl propane. 1, 2, 3, prop, all single bond, propane, and this is a methyl group attached to the second carbon atom, so 2-methyl propane. For a pentane, N-pentane, isopentane and neopentane. N-pentane, all 5 carbon atom in the main chain, single bonded. For isopentane, pentane, one methyl group changes with the second carbon atom, and for a neopentane, the other methyl group also comes to that second carbon atom. So the names are, IUPAC names are pentane, isopentane, neopentane, common names. This is 2-methyl butane. This is 2,2-dimethyl propane. I am very sure either the isomers of butane or the isomers of pentane is there in the question paper. It can be your school paper, terminal paper, breeze paper, in the ICSE final question paper. It is definitely there. So I would request children, isomers of butane, isomers of pentane, do it very properly because it is there in the question paper. Actually, when we are talking about the methane and ethane, let me tell you that methane is the principal component of the natural gas, this one, and it's also called marsh gas. It contributes to the greenhouse effect. It is formed at the bottom of the marshes due to the fermentation of a type of bacteria, so marsh gas we call it. It is present in the air exhaled by the animals whose food contains cellulose, as the bacteria ferments on the cellulose. It is even contained in the intestinal gases. Cavities in coal has 90% of methane, and that is called fire damp. Methane is also produced by distillation of wood peat, that is coal, and ethane, it occurs up to 10 to 20% along with wherever methane is produced. And to talk about methane, the structure is three-dimensional. It's a tetrahedral shape, pyramidal you can say. It is the prime source of carbon monoxide, hydrogen, ethene, methanol, methanol, chloromethane, carbon tetrachloride, and a very good fuel, so used as a domestic fuel. And ethane is used as well to prepare ethene, ethanol, ethanol, acetic acid, and even it's a good fuel. Both the gases are colorless, odorless, and sparingly soluble in water. So these are some of the properties, physical properties you can say. Now let's come to the next part of our alkanes only, and that is laboratory preparation of methane and ethane. So in the laboratory, if you have sodium ethanoate with soda lime, this is soda, this is lime, and heated to a temperature, you get methane with sodium carbonate. And for the preparation of ethane, you need sodium propanoate, and soda lime, you get ethane and sodium carbonate. So in this case, they are lighter ones, so can be collected by the downward displacement of water. And this reaction is known as decarboxylation reaction. Decarboxylation. See, CO2 is removed from here. So CO2 with sodium becomes sodium carbonate, and only methane, CH3, and this H becomes CH4, C2H5, and this H becomes C2H6. So this is also known as a decarboxylation reaction. So if the question is put, what will be the way of asking? They will either ask you as a direct question, give the chemical equation to prepare ethane in the laboratory, or they can ask you name the reactants used in the laboratory to prepare methane. So you should know sodium ethanoate and soda lime. Or they can ask you to give a chemical equation as an example of decarboxylation reaction. So you should know this entire part, that the laboratory preparation is of an alkane is known as a decarboxylation reaction. So I guess one question definitely from this part, laboratory preparation, either methane or ethane, for sure in the question paper. The type of questions changes every year. But yes, from this part they always put a question. You can check that 10 years paper as well, and that will be a proof that it is there. Okay, there are other methods of preparation also. Nice to know about something about science and basically about chemistry, the reactions, because that is what is chemistry known as. You should know more about their behavior, their reaction. Always don't stick to like it's there in the portion or it's not there in the portion, whether we should study or not. There should be something also for your own knowledge. So the other methods are like, if we have a methyl halide, say methyl iodide or alkyl halide, I can say, they in the presence of nascent hydrogen. Now where do you get this nascent hydrogen? You get the hydrogen if you have zinc powder and dilute HCl, and this nascent hydrogen will react with methyl iodide to give you methane and hydrogen iodide. If it's bromide, if it's methane or ethane, depends upon what is your root word, and hydrogen bromide if it's a alkyl bromide. So very interesting and not difficult to remember the source of nascent hydrogen. Then this reaction you have already done in standard 9, but still again let me repeat. Aluminium carbide with water will give you methane and aluminium hydroxide. Not new because you've already done. And another is Wohr's reaction. This one is a reaction to give an alkane with even number of carbon atoms. Like if you have methyl iodide, it will be 2 methyl iodide with sodium, and dry ether will give you ethane and sodium iodide. So this is one very interesting one. Okay, so the next set. We come to now the chemical properties of alkanes. So this is already known to you because you had been doing it in your junior classes as well, that any hydrocarbon, any organic compound, when burnt, will always give you carbon dioxide and water in complete combustion. So does the alkanes. The alkane, the methane or the ethane or any alkane with oxygen will give you carbon dioxide, water and a lot of heat. Okay, and you always get a bluish non-sooty flame, and it's a good gaseous fuel because obviously lot of heat is evolved. But in case you don't have the complete or sufficient supply of air, then instead of carbon dioxide you get carbon monoxide. Further less supply of oxygen will give you carbon or soot, yes, with water in all the 3 cases, and heat as well. But when the question says give the chemical equation to show the combustion of ethane, it is understood that it is the complete combustion. Unless and until it is mentioned insufficient supply or partial combustion, do not come to this of your own. Read the word in the question paper, only then give the equation. Okay, so the next type of chemical reaction is a substitution reaction. Okay, so whenever the alkane, in this case we have shown for methane and ethane, reacts with chlorine in diffuse sunlight, every step one hydrogen from the alkane is replaced by one halide. Like this is chloromethane. Further reaction, dichloromethane. Further reaction, trichloromethane, which is also known as chloroform, and then tetrachloromethane. It happens the same with ethane, chloroethane, that is monochloro, you may write chloroethane, dichloroethane, trichloroethane, tetrachloroethane, pentachloroethane, hexachloroethane. Now, when we say 2 carbon, it is eth. When it is 1 chlorine, chloroethane, 2 chlorine, dichloroethane. So, these are the stepwise substitution reaction of the halogen in the presence of diffused sunlight. Okay, the next set of reactions. Here we have pyrolysis or decomposition of alkanes, that is cracking of alkanes. It depends upon the temperature and the condition. Now, if a methane is brought to 1500 degrees Celsius, will give you ethane and hydrogen. Now, this reaction is important. Why? There can be a question asking you to convert methane to ethane. So, you should know this reaction. They will not give you this temperature condition, or they will not talk about the pyrolysis. Also, they will directly ask you to convert. But if one ethane in the presence of alumina at a temperature of 500 will give you ethene and hydrogen, this reaction can be vice versa as well, but there is a change in condition. Like ethene can be converted to ethane. We have our slides where you will show how nickel, in the presence of nickel, addition of hydrogen for an unsaturated hydrogenation converts. But for this, I would just tell you, please remember, ethane can be converted to ethene. Ethene also can be converted to ethane. So this is one very important reaction. Pentane also can be converted, but you can get propane and ethene separately. Heptane can be converted into butane and propene. So these are the kinds of pyrolysis which takes place, and what matters is the temperature and the condition. Then catalytic oxidation of alkanes. So alkanes can be oxidized again due to the presence of the catalyst, like methane with oxygen with a copper tube will give you alcohol, methanol. But methane with oxygen with molybdenum oxide will give you an aldehyde, formaldehyde. And methane with oxygen with manganese compound will give you formic acid, that is a carboxylic acid. Similarly, ethane with oxygen, copper tube will give you alcohol, ethanol. Ethane with oxygen in the presence of molybdenum oxide will give you acetaldehyde plus water. And with platinum, the alcohol now converts into acetic acid. This is something different. We have done it also. Now, here it is shown here that how slow combustion takes place, or oxidation you can say. Alkane, nascent oxygen gives you alcohol, alcohol, nascent oxygen, aldehyde, aldehyde with nascent oxygen, carboxylic acid, and carboxylic acid for the oxidation, as I told you just now, will give you carbon dioxide and water. So, in each cases, what do you need? Nascent oxygen. How will you provide? Potassium dichromate, K2Cr2O7. So, I've shown you one example here. Methane, K2Cr2O7 giving you nascent oxygen gives you methanol. Methanol, again K2Cr2O7, nascent oxygen gives formaldehyde. Formaldehyde, nascent oxygen with K2Cr2O7, formic acid, and further gives you carbon dioxide and water. So these are some of the reactions. We have now to you show alkenes. Okay, so the organic chemistry, hydrocarbon alkene, general formula CnH2n, called olefins. They are oil forming. Now name, condensed structure, common name, IUPAC name. So molecular formula C2H4, the name is ethene, otherwise commonly known as ethylene. This is the structure. Condensed formula carbon-carbon double bond. Then propene, then propylene structure, condensed formula. These are all unsaturated because carbon-carbon double bond is here. So therefore, these are the types which we discussed just now, the question format as well. Now these are some of the compounds which we had already discussed in the IUPAC system when we were studying nomenclature. Once again, I can talk about the isomers of alkenes, where a butene and the double bond changes its place along with the methyl group also changing its place. Like in the first case, it is but1-ene because double bond is with the first carbon atom. It can be but2-ene because the double bond is shifted to the second carbon atom. Along with shifting of the methyl group, that is 2-methyl propene. So these are some of the isomers. You can be asked in the form of IUPAC names. Preparation of ethene, otherwise also known as ethylene. Dehydration of ethyl alcohol. From an alcohol, if water is removed, and the best source to remove water cannot be better than conc H2SO4, and the temperature required is 170 degree to give you ethene and water. This reaction can also be possible with alumina, but the temperature is 350 degrees Celsius, so better waste of energy is avoided. Conc sulfuric acid 170 degree, alcohol converts into alkene. So ethyl alcohol gives you ethene plus water. The type of reaction is dehydration. There is one more reaction known as dehydrohalogenation. So hydro means water is removed, halogen is removed. So when you have ethyl chloride and hot concentrated alcoholic KOH, you get ethene, KCl, water. So 1 H and OH gives you water, dehydro. Chlorine comes out, KCl, halogen, dehydrohalogenation. This can be with chlorine or bromine, and I am telling you children, one reaction from this part is definitely there in the question paper. If you want, you can check out the last 10 years question. This part is not missed out while asking a question from alkene. Okay, so addition reaction, they can be hydration, they can be hydrogenation, halogenation, hydrogenation, I was talking about it just now. Ethene with hydrogen, presence of nickel gives you ethane, where for the crackling we were doing ethane at a temperature of 500 degrees Celsius, alumina gives you ethene and hydrogen. So it can be a vice versa reaction, important, so please note it. It can be with halogenation also, double bond breaks and 2 chlorine gets attached, that is 1,2 dichloroethane, or can be ethylene chloride. With bromine it will become ethylene bromide, or 1,2 dibromoethane. Interesting reaction. Please prepare, you will get one. Water, so it gives you alcohol with HCl, 1 hydrogen here, 1 chlorine here, so chloroethane. Then with aqueous KOH, the chloride and OH changes its place, so alcohol and KCl. One reaction from here, so potassium hydroxide aqueous, potassium hydroxide alcoholic, hot alcoholic KOH will give you dehydrohalogenation. Aqueous KOH will convert methyl chloride or ethyl chloride to the alcohol. Polymerization, okay, with high temperature and the presence of catalyst and high pressure will give you polyethylene. Oxidation with water in the presence of nascent oxygen can give you 1,2 ethene diol, because 2 OH is there and the source is cold alkaline KMnO4. Combustion, as I had told, gives you carbon dioxide, water and lot of heat. This is used for ethene is used for ripening of fruits, and you would see that the bromine solution in carbon tetrachloride gives orange color, but in the presence of ethene the bromine is absorbed, so the orange color disappears to give you ethylene bromide. and alkaline KMNO4 also have that purple color, and ethene will remove the color or decolorize it because it reacts and uses the nascent oxygen. So these are the indication that it's a saturated one. Next is your hydrocarbon, and that is alkyne. It's unsaturated because carbon-carbon triple bond is there. General formula CnH2n minus 2. Now here it is ethyne or acetylene, molecular formula C2H2, structure CH triple bond CH, condensed formula, and this is a structure form condensed formula for propyne or allyline, which is the general name. So about this also I've spoken. Isomers, yes, change of the triple bond, that is but1 ine and but2 ine, which we did just now with the double bond, similar one. Laboratory preparation, yes, calcium carbide and water gives you acetylene and calcium hydroxide. This reaction was done in standard 9, so it's not new. And now the preparation from ethylene dibromide, which we have done just now. Ethylene alcoholic KOH, hot concentrated, will give you dehydrohalogenation, 1 hydrogen, OH gives you water, Br comes out, KBr, and you get a triple bond here. This is also one similar reaction, only the number of carbon atom matters. Chemical properties, combustion, yes, carbon dioxide, water and heat, similar. Hydrogenation, adding of hydrogen in the presence of nickel, we have done just now with double bond, similar ones. In 2 steps it will give, alkyne changes to alkene, alkene changes to alkane. Then with halogen also similar, chlorine gets attached to the 2 carbon atom, further again it gets attached, so it becomes 1,2 dichloroethene, and this is 1,1,2,2 tetrachloroethane. So this is with chlorine. With hydrogen, yes, HCl, hydrogen here, chlorine here, so it is chloroethane. Further again hydrogen here, chlorine here, so 1,1 dichloroethane. These are the IUPAC names which we have already done, and this is just a revision of what we did in the first part of my video of organic chemistry. So these are reactions which are simple ones and not difficult to remember also. Now I come to alcohol. Okay, so before coming to alcohol, children, I would just talk about a question which is generally asked, and the question is, how will you identify whether it's an alkane, alkene or alkyne? Okay, so if you add few drops of bromine solution in carbon tetrachloride to the hydrocarbon, which I discussed just now, for an alkane the color wouldn't change. The bromine color, which gives a brownish, reddish brown color, will not change. But for an alkene or an alkyne, that is one unsaturated one, the bromine color is used up, so it decolorizes. In the same manner, if you add few drops of alkaline KMNO4, which I discussed just now, for an alkane there will be no change, but for one alkene and alkyne that is unsaturated, the the color, purple color, decolorizes. Now these two tests will identify whether the hydrocarbon is one saturated one or an unsaturated one. But there are tests which will identify whether it's a double bond or a triple bond, alkene or alkyne. For that, you had to add few drops of ammoniacal cuprous chloride to the hydrocarbon. For an alkene, of course an alkane also, there will be no change, but the red color will, there will be a red precipitate for an alkyne. At the same time, if you add separately few drops of ammoniacal silver nitrate, for an alkane and alkene there will be no change, sorry, but there will be white precipitate for an alkyne. So the last two tests will identify whether it's a triple bond. The other two will identify whether it's a single bond. So you get to know that which one is alkene, alkane or alkyne. This test is important. We now come to alcohol, where the OH group adds so methanol, methyl alcohol, ethanol, ethyl alcohol, condensed one, structure here, IUPAC name. Laboratory preparation we have done just now, aqueous KOH, the halogen and OH changes their place, so you get alcohol, ethyl alcohol and methyl alcohol with KBr or KCl, depends upon what is your reactant. Chemical properties, yes, combustion will give you carbon dioxide, water and heat. Oxidation, we have done this, K2Cr2O7, nascent oxygen gives aldehyde, further will give you acetic acid. Similarly, ethanol also, ethyldehyde, that is ethanol and ethanoic acid. With sodium, yes, hydrogen is removed. That is a metal, sodium metal will remove hydrogen and you get sodium methoxide. With acetic acid, this is esterification, where you get a fruity smell of ester. Any alcohol with acetic acid and heat in the presence of conc H2SO4 will give you methyl acetate, one acetate group and water. So it can be ethyl alcohol also to give you ethyl acetate and water. So esterification is the reaction. And dehydration with conc H2SO4, we have already done this, laboratory preparation of alkene. So 170 degrees Celsius, conc H2SO4, water is removed. This is repetition, we did it just now. Not much about alcohol because only that much is there in your portion. And now carboxylic acid, COOH group preparation. Yes, alcohol with oxygen. Platinum will give you directly acetic acid, or ethene and water, sulfuric acid and mercury sulfate can also give you aldehyde. Further, with oxygen and a catalyst, we have done this, acetic acid. Stepwise reaction is possible also. Chemical reaction, just like acid, with metal will give you hydrogen and salt. With an alkali will give you salt and water. With a metal carbonate, sodium carbonate will give you salt, water, carbon dioxide. This is, esterification. We did it just now. Acetate group will be given. And this reduction with nascent hydrogen, lithium aluminium hydride will give you alcohol and water. So once alcohol is giving you carboxylic acid, your carboxylic acid is giving you alcohol. So these are the vice versa reactions which are generally asked. I have actually included almost all the reactions that is there for standard 10. I would request children, please watch my video, read the book first. Put your doubts, of course, in the comment section. I'm there to clear it out, of course, as I do always. And prepare the question from the exercise, the 10 years paper. And children, please like, share and subscribe my channel. And I will be coming again with many more questions and the way to answer your paper, to read the question paper, to prepare yourself for the final in my next videos. Till then, keep preparing, complete your portion, and okay children, take care, bye.